You know, I skipped tonight's meal. I'm to make it to the drive-in tonight because I got up late. Got up at 5:30, which is my normal time for getting up, I guess, nowadays. I don't know. I think I went to bed around 9. And everybody's like, oh, you gotta go eat before you go to the theater. I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. I love my drive-in theater. I love watching 2 movies for the price of $10. And if you guys have a drive-in theater in your local location, I would severely suggest you support that and support not just but go to the concession stand and buy their overpriced hot dogs and overpriced fries and overpriced drinks, because that's the only way that they're going to stay open. They don't make money on these movies. They make money on the concession stand sale. So I would highly suggest, and let me just show you here my hot dog and fries. I got that. I'm doing my part. I severely suggest that you guys do your part as well. But anyways, hey, this is Scott. I'm at the drive-in tonight. Tonight's movie is going to be, what was it? It's Predator, and it is Peppermint. And I don't know about you guys, but I know nothing about Peppermint. Nothing. I do know that it looks like an action flick, and it stars Jennifer Garner. So what I'm guessing is it's Elias the movie. That's what it looks like to me. Prove me wrong. All right. But I do know about Predator, and I do know that it doesn't look good. I don't have high expectations for it. But as I said before, the end of the movie season, we're not out of August yet, guys. Summer's still in session. So we're going to be watching the last. I keep on saying this because I keep on thinking there's no more blockbusters coming out, but this may be the last of the summer movies that are coming out. Predator is a big brand name. Everybody knows Predator, and it's got a few people that we know in it. The only one that comes to mind is Olivia Munn, and she was horrible in what was that, X-Men Apocalypse. I thought she made the worst Psylocke. Anyways, yeah, so there you go. I'm going to be watching that. And just give me a few minutes, and just give me a few seconds, and I'll be back with that review. All right, I'll talk to you guys in just a few seconds. Bye. Anyways, I just got done watching Predator. It's the next chapter in the Predator story, and it's definitely not the last. As far as the ending of the movie, it definitely sets itself up for another movie. It's probably viewed as in the studios as a revitalization of this franchise, because this franchise has been it's been a while, probably about 20 years or so. I think the first one came out in the 80s, somewhere around there. So maybe 30, who knows? But anyways, no mentions of aliens, just predators this time. No mentions of Arnold's. Just predators this time, and that's okay with me. Did I enjoy this movie? Hell yeah, I enjoyed this movie. This movie had a lot to like about it. Basically, what you have as far as plot goes, and I'm going to be really, because there's a couple of reveals in this movie that I was really kind of delighted with, and I want you guys to discover it on your own. I want you to be pleasantly delighted with the plot twists as well. So basically what we have is we have our main character, who is a army sniper in the middle of a black ops operation, and the whole operation is derailed in the middle of it because this predator's ship crashes, and that's the beginning of our journey. Later on in the story, early on in the story, he gets admitted. He's going to be admitted into a military psychiatric ward, where they're going to kind of try to bury him and try to bury the truth as far as the predators go with him, and just kind of shelf him into this psych ward. He's about to be carted away to the psych ward, and we meet the rest of our cast of characters who are all psych ward alumni, and they're about to be carted away to their new destination, their new psych ward. And every single one of them, Keenan Key is one of the, I think I'm saying his name right. One of the two parts of the Keenan and Peele duo. He plays kind of a smart-ass military guy. Thomas Jane plays kind of a salty, aged soldier with Tourette's. And Olivia Munn plays a really cool although her character it was almost awkward, because you have what is not only a good-looking, I'm going to turn this down more, a good-looking scientist, which I'm sorry does not exist, and they don't. Not only is she good-looking, but also she is quite handy with the weapon, and quite adventurous. Again, you're not going to find too many adventurous, well-rehearsed weapon specialists who also kind of dabble in biology. No, it's not going to happen. But anyway, so we meet those characters very early on in the story, and we're giving very, very adequate moments to kind of endear us to these characters and make us like these characters. So finally at the end, when they all fall one by one, we are hit with that emotional impact, and we actually enjoy the story because of that. The action sequences were very good. We have the main character who was the military sniper. We learn that his kid's involved in the story, and I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to reveal too much of the story. I want you guys to enjoy it. But we find out that his kid's involved in the story, and it's basically, that's what it turns into at the very end, is a rescue mission to keep this kid out of harm's way. And I thought the kid was actually kind of the weakest link in this movie. He was, again, here's a strange kind of a pattern I see going on. A strange trend is that we're turning these autism and Asperger syndrome, we're turning these into heroes, and we're making them very competent people. And I'm sorry, but I've known a couple people on the spectrum, and although these people, yes, there are people that are highly functional on the spectrum. So I have personally known a couple people on the spectrum, and the people I've known are not that high on the spectrum. And I think that's the case, where a lot of the media is portraying them as not only highly functional, but to be kind of the heroes of the story. And I see that, I don't know, I'm ambivalent to that, I guess, right now, because I'm not sure if I agree with that or that I like it. I think it's painting a very inaccurate picture, to say the very least. But his kid's on the spectrum, and because he's on the spectrum, he can understand alien technology. Yeah, like I said, it was the weakest link of the story. But again, it was a small plot thread to swallow, and it wasn't asking too much of us to actually accept that. So I gave it a pass. In fact, I had a harder time with, there was another character in the story. Predators have dogs, alien dogs. Really? Honestly? All right. Again, suspension of disbelief. There wasn't too much of that going on. There's a lot of it. Yeah, it's a science fiction movie. Yeah, it's aliens coming down and hunting humans, and other story plots that I won't go into. But still, at the same time, it all made sense. Let's just put it that way. All the story elements fit together, and they all made sense. So for that, I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I really did. For even the flaws that I pointed out, I really did enjoy it. And for that reason, I'm going to give it an 85%. Was it worth a watch? Absolutely. Was it worth a watch in the theater? Absolutely. I would go ahead and rush out and go see this movie. So there you go. The next movie is Peppermint. So I'm going to go and watch that, but it's a concession stand where I do my part again, where I buy my popcorn and support one of my favorite venues for movies, which is the drive-in. And okay, I'll talk to you guys in just a few seconds to let you know what I think about Peppermint. All right, I'll talk to you guys in just a few seconds. Hey guys, so the second movie of the drive-in movie marathon was Peppermint, and it starred Jennifer Garner. It had some other pretty adequate acting people in this movie, but nobody recognizable. So Jennifer Garner is it. That's it. And here it is. Let me go and ask you a couple questions before we get into the review. Have you ever seen Death Wish? Have you ever heard or seen the origin of Batman? Are you familiar with the origin of Punisher? If you can say yes to all three of these, then you've seen this movie already. You've already seen it. Here's the thing. It was a revenge movie. It was pure and simple. It was a revenge movie. The thing that you had to ask yourself at the end of the revenge movie is you have what is pretty much your anti-hero. You got somebody that's doing some bad things, but for good reasons. And you have to ask yourself, did I like this character? Did I connect with this character? And usually in revenge films, sometimes we're given some expose, some plot at the beginning of the movie. But a lot of the revenge movies, John Wick comes to mind, we're giving very little plot in the beginning of the movie. So it's throughout the movie that we had to establish this character and to actually find reasons to like this character. And that's pretty much what happened in this movie too. There was an establishing shot. There was a plot thread stuck kind of like in the first quarter of the movie, where she's on the bus and she meets this kid who is taking care of his drunk dad, who's passed out on the bus as well. And he states to the audience, Jennifer Garner's character, but to the audience, that it's his job sometimes to take care of his dad. And then immediately after that, we see his dad being shitty. So, and then right after that, we see Jennifer Garner kind of taking care of that and giving him kind of like a Fight Club moment where she puts a gun to the guy's head and says, hey, if you keep on doing bad things, I know where you live. I'm going to show up at your place and I'm going to kill you. So go on the straight and narrow. And so that was one of those moments that we were supposed to latch onto the character and to care about the character. But to be honest with you, we're looking at an amalgamated character, just kind of thrown together, just kind of having different characters to make up this one main character, the Jennifer Garner character. And I really didn't feel the emotional connection that I was supposed to with this character. With all movies, especially the movies I like to watch, there are always kind of a suspension of disbelief. And this movie was, again, no exception. We have a soccer mom that watched her family get gunned down, and that's the reason why, hence the revenge story of this movie. She disappears with 50 grand to foreign countries and then comes back a badass, and we're asked to believe that. And she's moving throughout this movie with military precision and also kind of like the MMA Fight Club moves and paralysis and just chutzpah, with lack of a better term. I'm running out of words, but basically that's what we're looking at, is just a badass, and it was in the making of 5 years. Now Batman did it, so why can't anybody else? But so that's kind of hard to swallow for me. That was kind of hard for me to swallow, but if you want to get past that point and just focus on the rest of the movie and focus on the action aspect of this movie, it was still kind of lacking. It was the action sequences were not long and they were not involved. They were pretty much really short and very standard. There was nothing clever about them. Again, we're asked to go ahead and fight along with this character, and I just seem to be lacking that reason to fight along with her, to care for her. And therefore, I don't know. I'm going to have to score this movie kind of low. It wasn't bad. I like Jennifer Garner, and I like her in that action role. Like I said, the Alias movie, television show was a good show, and her performance as Elektra in the god-awful Daredevil movie and the even more god-awful Elektra movie, I still liked her in those movies, and I find her a very charismatic character, presence. In any movie that she's in. I even liked her in Juno, which had nothing to do with action and stuff like that, but I still dug her as that concerned mom, and as the mom who will stop at nothing, even the portrayal of her husband, to get to the end of her goal. And I enjoyed her performance in this movie. Again, it didn't give us anything clever to root behind. It didn't give us a clever ending. It was pretty much just by the numbers. Paint by numbers, revenge movie. So I'm going to give, let's see, what did I give? I gave 85 to our Predator movie, which I did enjoy. And I thought that the characters were a little more easily accessible. This movie was, I'm going to give it a 70. It was just... It wasn't a bad movie, but at the end of the movie, you have to ask, what's the reason why? Why are we watching this movie again? Why are we watching something that we've already watched before in 3 or 4 different versions that were better than this one? So there you go. So today's scorecard, we did have Predators. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely go out to see it, and definitely go see it in the theaters. Then we have Peppermint, which was a paint by numbers revenge movie, which was probably worth a streaming watch. I'd watch it on Netflix, but nothing further than that. All right. Again, I'm going to say this one more time because I keep on saying it. I keep on coming back to you guys. I don't know what the next movie's going to be, but I'll let you know when it comes out and I, appear on my camera. But besides that, hey guys, I like to advocate for the underdog YouTuber out there that wants to put out videos and wants attention to them. So instead of subscribing to me, go watch somebody else's videos and go, rack up their viewership. I would like to have people watch and comment on my videos, but subscriptions are not necessary. So please don't subscribe, but get involved in our community. Get involved with the amateur movie watcher and start creating a conversation. Leave comments on my video, but if you don't want to leave my video, leave them on somebody else's video that gets less attention, and let's start a conversation. And let's debate these movies, because that's the reason why I do these videos. It's my love of cinema. It's my love of movies that brings me to in front of you guys. All right, I'm out of here. I'm gonna be back as soon as possible. All right. Hey, as always, peace and Montenegro, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.